This is something I want to share with you. It's quite a long story. It's actually a factual story. But if you're the type of person that scrolls through and wants to move on, then I suggest you do so. If you're interested to hear something very interesting, stay with me. This is something that happened years ago. I'm talking over 30 years ago. And it's something I don't really share with many. But I've kept it for so long, shared it with a few, and I feel now is the time because I'd like to hear someone else's perspective on the events that took place. So this particular day, it was a very long day. I had finished work and gone to a concert with a friend. Just before the concert, I had a call from another friend saying that he had a radio show going on outside of London and I should come along and, participate. There was also talk of a dance or a party or something to follow. So I said, okay, after work, once I finish the concert, I'll head up there. Finished the concert around about 8, give or take, and decided to head towards this radio show. And by the time I got to the destination, which took me about an hour and a half, give or take, so it was around about 9:30 in the evening, I was then advised that I was too late. The radio show had finished and the dance that proceeded had been cancelled. This is, give or take, about 10. I stopped off and had something to eat, and this was about 10:30 in the evening. So after having something to eat, I headed back towards the motorway, or trying to find my way to the motorway to get back to London. So I'm driving down this road and it's like a residential road because I took a couple of back streets after I went to have something to eat. I had a takeaway. So I'm driving down this road and I see someone in the middle of the road. So as I'm approaching, this person is standing strong, not moving out of my way. So I'm flashing my car lights, blowing the horn, trying to get them to move. But this person just wouldn't move. So as I got closer, I realized it was a young lady. And she had like a liter bottle, like a plastic bottle of, I believe was alcohol or cider. She had it and she was drinking, taking swigs every so often, so I presume she was drunk. Anyhow, I says, excuse me, can you move along? Can you get out of the way because I need to move? If I moved left, she'd walk left. If I turned right, she'd walk right, and she wouldn't let me pass. I wound my window down a little because I was quite, if I'm being honest, I was a bit wary because this could be a setup. I'm in an area that I don't know. I'm on a residential road. I don't know anyone around. What's happening? What's going on? So I wind my window down just a little bit. I didn't wind it, I pressed the button. I says to her, what's going on? She says to me, after she cussed me, she said her son died in this same spot a year ago, and she wants to go the same way. Would you believe that? She wants to go the same way, so she's waiting. She wants a car to knock her down, and she wants to end her life, basically. I couldn't let this pass. I mean, I said to her, I need to spend some time with you. I'm not going to drive away and let somebody else come behind me and do what you want to happen. It's not going to happen that way. Started talking to her. And believe it or not, I ended up praying with this woman. And I'm not a church person. I go to weddings. I may go to the odd funeral, or someone may bring me to church, but I'm not really a church goer. But for some strange reason, on that particular day, I prayed with her. And I said, no, go home. Go home. This is not going to happen. She broke down and started crying. Yeah, true facts. She started crying and promised me that she's going to go home. So I watched her walk away. And I watched her, I reversed the car a little and watched her go into her home. And I sat there for about 10 minutes just to make sure she wouldn't come back out again. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. So I'm driving now, and this is about 11:30, 11:45. It could even have been after 12, I'm not sure. But I'm now heading on the motorway. I've touched the motorway and I'm driving. And I'm cruising along, heading towards London. I see the signs. I know where I'm going. But I'm feeling a bit drowsy. I'm feeling a bit tired. You know, you wind the window down, you put some music on just to kind of perk yourself up again, but that drowsiness just wouldn't shift. And those of you who are drivers will know and understand this. When you're on a motorway and you can hear the road surface, you hear that rumbling under the car, and then you hear a silence. Do you know what that means? You've fallen asleep. Even if it's for a split second, you've fallen asleep. That happened to me twice. And again, I wound the window down. Yes, I should have pulled over. I should have gone into a service station, but I didn't. I wound the window down a little bit, played some music. I'm still driving. I'm in the middle lane. And again, silence. A strange thing happened to me that night. I pushed the key into my flat entry door. So that's the main door that leads into a block of flats. At the time, that's where I was living. As I pushed the key into the door, I jumped. In astonishment, looked around because I didn't know how I got there. I looked around to see where my car was and I couldn't see my car. And I stood on the pavement about 12:30 that morning, puzzled as to what happened. I don't know how I got there. I don't remember driving, coming off the motorway and picking up the A406. I just don't remember it. I don't recall it that night. I couldn't work out where my car was. So I walked a little and looked, and I saw my car parked on a corner where I normally don't park. I never park there. Out of all the places, even if I were to come in and couldn't find a space, I just wouldn't park there. But my car was parked. I scratched my head. I looked around, puzzled. How did I get there? And that's something that sat with me for years. I just couldn't. And before you say, was I drinking, was I smoking? No, it wasn't. I was teetotal. I weren't drinking or smoking at all. But somehow, something happened on that motorway. I'm not sure what happened. But I somehow drove my car Well, at least I believe I drove my car and got home. But only when I pushed the key into my front door, the flat entry door, I had almost like an out-of-body experience or inner-body experience. I don't know. It was almost as if my soul jumped back into my body. That's the only way I can describe it. It felt that way. Strange, but true. I'd like to know your thoughts on this. And just remember, this was years ago. I'm talking about the early 90s. We're in 2026 now. You take care.